Hello and welcome back to Try On Finances. My name is Thomas, and welcome to another unedited rant. Last month, late January, I talked about how February was going to be uncomfortable for me because I was going to start making changes, or I was going to make changes in my daily spending. And by daily spending, I mean every day I would change not going to the gas station and buying an energy drink, buying a water, buying snacks, whatever the case may be. And I've done pretty good as far as my daily spending goes in that regard. I've done pretty good. I thought the energy drink part was going to be harder, but I've actually fared pretty well. I'm not perfect by no means, but it's certainly gotten a lot better. And in this video, I want to talk about sinking funds. And what are sinking funds? Sinking funds are funds that we keep aside for items that we know we're going to have to spend money on. So it could be a car, could be a house, house repairs, it could be vet bills, whatever it is that you have in your life that's going to be a daily expenditure or something that you might have to randomly throw money at. That's essentially what a sinking fund is. You don't have to do anything crazy with the sinking fund. You could, I guess if you really wanted to, you could stack the money in your sock drawer. You can set up a savings account, high yield savings account, however you want to do it. For me, I'm going to put mine in a high yield savings account and just stock money away on a monthly basis or whatever it is that I can afford. But I want to go into a little backstory. Like, I've been thinking about doing a sinking fund for a while, but I hadn't done it. And this recent situation has really pushed me over the top to want to get it started. So I went on a small trip this past weekend. My girlfriend and I did like 4 days going out to San Francisco, and we drove. Usually when we make trips, we've always driven my car, which is fine. But with that comes the potential for added costs. So I with her paying some stuff and me paying some stuff on my portion, with how much I spent on this trip, I essentially had it covered in savings. I should have had more money. I should have planned better. There's a lot of things I should have, could have, would have done, but I didn't. However, what I wasn't expecting was the fact that when we were driving home on Tuesday, we were like 4.5 hours away, I think, from home. And I hit a huge pothole that I didn't see. She saw it and she called it at the last minute, but it was already too late. I bottomed out the right side of my car. It was bad. I was thankful though when I got out of my car. I looked and I didn't see any major damage. Like, you could see like scrapes on the hubcap, a little scraping on the car, but for how it sounded and how it felt, I was happy with what I saw. So I continued driving. I realized it's got a little shake to it. It doesn't feel right. Part of me feels like it's paranoia. Part of me knows that there's going to be something that's wrong with it. So we get back on Tuesday, thankfully safely. Wednesday, I get up in the morning to go do deliveries, and I get in the car and my the light was on to let me know that I had low tire pressure. Alright, so I go and fill it up. It was essentially flat. So I do some deliveries, wait out the day, see if it goes flat again. I end up not driving at all again that day. I check it later in the day, turn on my car, leave it running for a little bit, no light came on. Okay, maybe I'm in the clear. But I went to go to my part-time job this morning, and it was flat. So I was already late, so I drove to work. And then after work, I went and I got it filled up. But then I went to the tire place this morning and bought a new tire. That tire that I had replaced, that needed replacing, it had already been patched. So I wasn't going to mess with it, just replace the whole thing. But it couldn't just be the tire, right? They put the wheel on the spindle and they run it, and yeah, the rim was fudged. You see it going like this, and then when you look at the rim itself, it's encaved on some of it. So that needed to also be replaced. So I went from just replacing a tire at $99 to replacing a tire and a rim at just south of $200. So that leads me into why I want the sinking fund strictly for my car. Some people have sinking funds for various reasons, but I think for me, I just want one for my car. I drive my car on a regular basis. I take it on road trips. I do Uber Eats, Grubhub with it. It only makes sense for me to have a savings account for my car. And it doesn't necessarily mean that I need to stock it with thousands of dollars. But if I can keep a balance of $500 or so just for my car, I feel like for the most part I could cover just about anything. In fact, speaking of my car, I just spent I don't even remember, like $1,700 on my car last month, unexpectedly. Now, could some of that have waited? Yes. Did it all need to be done right then and there? No, but I got it done anyways. But I just want to encourage you to think about if there's a daily expense in your life that regularly has maintenance to it. Maybe start a separate savings if you can afford it, to stockpile that money away, to earmark it for that particular thing. Because it's kind of discouraging to build up, at least for me, to build up a savings account and then spend a quarter of it or whatever on a car, when you know that car is going to need expenses on, yearly, monthly, 6 months, whatever the case may be for you and your situation. So why not just earmark a little bit of money every single month to put in the savings account for that particular item? So that's what I'm going to do. That's what's weighing heavy on my mind. And hopefully it gives you a good idea what to do with your sinking funds. If you've never thought about it, maybe that gives you something to think about. Or if you've always wanted to start one, maybe this is the video to tell you to go ahead and start it. Just put a little bit of money away for that particular item and then continue on with the rest of your goals. But just earmark a little bit of money every month for whatever particular sinking fund that you've begun. So with that, thank you again for watching another unedited rant. This is Try On Finances, and we'll see you on the next one.